It's whatever, baby. It's whatever, baby. It's
Welcome to another wonderful episode of Whatever by Hektek. I'm hoping that everyone had a blessed and safe 4th of July. I've heard some crazy shit already popped off with people, blowing off their fingers and stuff like that. To all the rest of the people, I hope y'all are safe and y'all had a good 4th of July. I'm joined by a couple. Yes, I did say couple that are in the adult industry in one form or another. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring them on, have them introduce themselves, and we're gonna get this shit popping.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, introduce yourselves individually and introduce yourselves as a group
Okay.
and an organization.
All right. So I am Just Cruz'n, aka Mr. Sexy Buns. I am a adult film and fetish model, performer, producer, all of the things, and a co-host of the Just Cruz'n podcast.
I'm Jazmine Cruz. I am a fetish and did you say
Porn
adult film star, and I'm also a content creator. I'm a model,
I wouldn't have thought you were shy.
a trainer. I wrestle now, and I do MMA, gymnastics, and also an exotic dancer. And I'm an awesome person to hang with.
and exhausting.
Those titles, I would definitely be exhausted. So I'll start off by asking y'all, how did y'all get into the industry? What was the motivation behind it? Like the why, what, hows, all that.
Well, at first, for first few years, I was a model, and I did like implied and nude modeling at first, and then I did like girl work and solo toy play for the first few years, and I did open up an OnlyFans account, and then after a few years, JR's friend had said, "Hey, you look like my favorite porn crush."
Asa Akira, that happened before you started your OnlyFans.
Yeah. Well,
and
that one
got
first.
into the nude
Yeah.
modeling and all of that.
Okay. Yeah, the Asa Akira.
I thought you were gonna say there's another one. Her name started with an A2. She was filthy.
Oh,
But she
yeah.
was a good, she was definitely good. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So after that, I just said, well, she connected me with her photographer. And at the time, I was in South Korea, and photographer was in the USA. So it was a time difference. So I submitted some photos. And he also said, hey, I need this. And so we just decided to communicate that way. And I would send photos and videos of me doing solo play or girl work. And then afterwards, after a couple of years, fast forward, I just had told JR, I think I'm ready to do boy-girl work. And what are you doing? I'm distracted.
You're good. I'm just adjusting the mic to you.
And after that, I just said, I think I'm ready. And we have started with an agent at first with Cox Models. We had him for a year. And I had my very first professional shoot with Score Group at first. And then Peter Fitzwell had connected me with Team Skeet. So I thank him and Naomi Fax for putting in a good word for me and giving me the ins for that. And then JR also helped me a whole lot in the acting aspect, because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of sucked at acting, but he practiced scripts with me, and JR is very talented in memorizing lines, and I'm not. I'm good at improv. And after a while, I just got comfortable being in front of the camera, and JR said, let's keep practicing. The only way to overcome your shyness and nervousness and anxiety is just to keep working at it. And I sure did. I still struggle a little bit, but I'm getting much better in front of the camera and not, hesitating or getting quiet.
Um,
Right?
You said something very, important. Then I'll ask you, Jr.
Yeah, no
A
worries.
lot of people do not realize, like, the fucking part of it is only, in my opinion, a small percentage of it. The major part is I'd say 75% is showing up, because if you don't show up, we can't do anything anyways.
Right.
But a lot of people want to coin themselves porn stars or porn actresses, but can't act. Like, there's more to it than just fucking. Like,
Yes.
you have to,
Yes.
even if you're not enjoying it, you still have to be able to sell it. And a lot of people can't sell it whatsoever.
Yeah. And the acting is like the fucking is not even just fucking.
I think the acting, the narrative, and is paramount, because everybody wants to see your expression in your face. They want to see you enjoy, but also be very like passionate about what you're doing. Because I get that a lot. You know, as a dancer, I had customers come in, check my OnlyFans, and be like, "Oh wow, this scene looks like you're kind of liking it, but not." But then the other one is, well, there's a difference between a professional porn scene and a scene that I own. If I own it, you're gonna see me going all at it in a different way, but you got lines in a narrative. You've got to like put it together. You got to synchronize to what the producer wants, synchronize to what the lines are. And if you go out of sync with everyone, we got to redo it, a retake over and over again.
Right. Different angles, different, run that back. Same way you walked in, you have to walk in the same way, or try to, as much as possible. So it's continuity. JR, for you, what was that conversation like? Like, it's one thing for her to be a solo content creator and doing herself. It's another thing to be like, listen, I want more dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how did that conversation come up, and what was your first thought about it, and how did you react to it?
So we've been in the lifestyle for over a decade. So really, it wasn't her getting fucked by other dudes and chicks wasn't really like a new thing to me.
Okay.
So I always encourage her to do and try all of the things and see what she likes, and then continue along those lines. When she told me she was finally ready, I was kind of overjoyed that she was finally ready to, because I'm like, you do all sorts of naughty shit off camera. Like, let's bring that forward.
Right.
But she, same thing. Like, I think to actually do it in front of a camera was a difficult thing for her to welcome that part of her onto camera. We've done back and forth, take some pictures, take some photos, and just share within our community. But when it's, for trying to market it and sell it and stuff like that, I just had to be supportive and just encourage her and let her know that, like, I have no issues with it, and I am all about just being her biggest cheerleader with that stuff. She would use me as a stunt cock for a while I was in, before I retired. I didn't want to get in
trouble.
I didn't want to fuck with the pension. You want that pension?
Oh, nah, I love the pension too.
Yeah. Thank you for your service as well, by the way.
You too.
Yeah. So as soon as I retired, she's like, okay, we're gonna take your career up a level too. And I'm like, okay.
So that was my next question. It's a two-parter.
Okay.
First part, what made you decide to get into the industry, not only behind the camera, but in front of the camera? Because if it does it again, I have to switch our cameras. But anyways,
no worries.
We have to be. It's not easy for a male to get in front of the camera and dick ready, on cue, pop, all that. So, what was going through your head as you was making the transition? And the second part of the thing for both of you, there is a narrative now with a lot of the lifestylers getting into the industry to extend not necessarily the business aspect, but it's like a big playhouse for a lot of them now. So how do
Yeah.
you combat that and you in front of the camera now?
Sure, that's I mean two great questions. As far as the in front of the camera piece, that was and still continues to be a challenge. I am in all other aspects of my life, I am great under pressure.
Mhm.
I am my worst enemy when it comes to trying to keep it rock solid and ready to go and pop when you need to and all of that.
Mhm.
I'm the first person to when I get in my head, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
So I am I'm very reluctant to get into the more pro scenes. I've done pro scenes, but not like tried to go for brazzers or any of those types of things because
Mhm.
I put enough pressure on myself, let alone worrying about like 20 other people that are on set waiting for me to just pop so everybody can go
Just
home.
and just looking at you like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we even in our production company, we have that issue sometimes. And the cool thing I think is that I can sympathize, and I try to handle it with a bit of grace. And how would I want to be treated in a similar scenario? So like,
Mhm.
if I need to like step out of the room for a little bit, kind of let him get into the right headspace. I never want him to feel the male talent to feel pressured of like, do it. Do it now.
Right.
Why
Right.
can't you do it now? Let's
Right. And
go.
you're over the shoulder. You're over the shoulder like, hey, we're burning daylight. What's up?
Right.
You know what I mean? No,
Right.
I get that.
You know, so there was that one. The second question, so I, for the most part, like we try to enjoy and have that passion and that connection, or at least try to find a little bit of a connection and a vibe with
Mhm.
our counterparts.
Mhm.
However, um, sex on film is not always the most enjoyable. Uh, the sex is not for you. It's for the customer. It's for the client. It's for the viewer. Um, and so, like, believe it or not, when you are when you're fucking say doggy, right? You don't have one leg here, arm behind your back, other leg cocked out, hip open. So, like, I mean, you
At an
don't.
angle like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
At no
I've been
point,
in those
unless
positions.
I'm in a mirror or like in a house of mirrors and I'm fucking and I just want to see everything, like that's one thing.
Mhm.
But you're focusing, it's about that camera angle.
Mhm.
So it is yeah, so like unless we're doing a gonzo scene, which I think we're gonna try to get into a couple of those, like just the amateur look, just like as if we're setting a camera and just letting it go,
Mhm.
just for some extra content to try to see like if the fans still kind of like that. um
Mhm.
During COVID, that seemed to be a massive phenomenon where they didn't want on OnlyFans, they didn't seem to want a storyline, a concept, anything. They
Straight
just
fucking.
wanted like raw, homemade fucking. And
Mhm.
that's cool. So I mean, I figure we'll test the waters and stuff, and like see how things go from there. But I mean, I know Jazmine and I both like we love the scenes that we do. We love the concepts we come up with. Um, there's very few lines scripted wise. I enjoy the ad lib part of it. I mean, I don't mind memorizing lines, but I think spontaneity can kind of bring a whole nother piece to it.
No, 100%. I was doing a before me and this female talent did a dry bone scene. She mentioned to me, "Oh, I'm always wet," and I'm like, "Okay." Like I put it in the storage bank, and I kind of went on with it. So as she's dry humping me, I don't know why I did it, but I was like, "Are you wet now?" And she couldn't help but to bust out laughing. I started hysterically laughing because we had to break that tension some way,
Yeah.
somehow. You know what I mean? So I get that. I'm more of a hey, I don't need lines. I could kind of run off of what the other person is doing, type of deal.
Yeah.
But it is hard when you tell someone, I need this out of you, and they don't give you anything of what you need.
Right.
Like, what your fans are looking for, certain words, certain cues, certain looks, and
Yep.
they're just not giving it to you. How do y'all both handle that as a production? Because y'all are a production as well. Like, do you just be like, well, fuck it, we'll just still sell it out, or do you like slap it? What's your process during that?
So for me, it's a lot of like we'll take a break if we need to. I'll provide a little bit of a direction with that, and then Jazmine is pretty much the same way, or she'll give me that look, like that unspoken conversation that a husband and a wife can have. And I know, okay, Mama ain't happy. Let me see what we got to do to fix.
Right.
So I mean, we're gonna try like hell to get it right every time. But we will do the best we can. We'll put it out there. If it doesn't sell, or especially if we were to hire somebody for it, then that's one. Then we're going to be a lot more strict with it. When it's a collaboration, we try to be as kind of, I don't know what the word is.
A little bit more
lenient. Loosely, yeah.
Loosely, what?
So we know what we're trying to say. We just can't. Neither of us can
loosened up, more loosened up.
Not as strict with it. You're kind of like, okay,
it's more comfortable, or like,
and then with the different fetishes, it always depends on the fetish too. Like the focus is different, the camera angles are different. If the viewer if your target audience is like subby type role, right? You want more up shots. You want more of like they're below you. That's like it. You have to adjust to the fetish, or like if it's a belly button fetish, like you're gonna have some like overall shots, but you're gonna zoom more in to whichever the specific fetish is that you're shooting.
Now, shooting fetish, do y'all think shooting fetish helps you? It's a hardcore, because I will be honest, when I work with porn stars, especially for dry bone, which is more of a fetish based concept,
right?
It's a hit or miss.
Yeah.
But when I hire fetish models, it's like a no brainer. They're like, "Bet, okay, what do you need from me? How? Okay, cool." And they just go into it.
Yep.
Normally, when I have to explain to porn stars like dry humping, they'd be like, "Well, what's that?" I'm like, "Act like you fucking me without my dick actually being in you." And they're like, "Oh, why didn't you just say that?" I'm like, "Because I thought dry humping explained it all, but I guess not." But I've had fetish models be like, "What's my motivation? Like, what should I say? Am I more dominant, or am I more subby?" And I'm like, so I end up trying to hire more fetish models because, especially acting wise, I think because of all the customs that most fetish models have to do, they're just tuned in. They're just like locked in as far as that goes. Have y'all seen a difference in the two different worlds?
You want to take that one, or?
I think for fetish and porn, I know that there are differences. I guess, for example, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little confused with dry humping as well. I didn't know that was also a thing. So I was it was with Lana Luxor.
Yeah,
that's who I did it with, and I said, "Wait a minute, we're supposed to do what?" And then and of course, I did porn at the time, exactly what you said. And I said, "I didn't know that was a thing." So we're gonna be doing it with our clothes on. I was confused. But that's, to me, like, I had to switch backwards. So as a porn star, it's like you gotta adjust to what your brain is not used to. So it was like a switch for me. So I had to get used to what fetish words, the phrases were, what the meanings were, because I was just used to a lot of like the words that, what porn words use was fetish.
Right. Like I
There's
never
certain
heard hold camera till they were like fetish. I'm like, hold camera? What do you mean hold camera? You mean film? Like, you know what I mean? Like I never understood that but there is different words. I don't know why, but there is different words
keywords
between the two. You're right.
Yeah. For me, I think a lot of it's not always necessarily that fetish models are better. It's not all porn stars are involved in any type of in a form of kink. So like
okay.
I like to think of it as more of a, if you're not in that world at all, if you don't have even like an insight into that, you may not understand it. Because if you're not around that and understand that there's a vast array of likes and dislikes and this and that, you don't know what you don't know. If that makes sense.
No, 100%. 100%.
Because the angles in porn, the angles are going to be basically the same. It's all about opening up to the camera and this and that, doing the dialogue. But it's not. It's just I go to the if you know you know, if you don't you got to learn, and so that's where we just again like handle things with grace and try to
Yeah, it was like a learning curve for us too, because when we went from like we did porn and then we kind of like dabbled into fetish and we're like, oh, we'll try it. But we had to do our research too. Like I'm gonna be honest, I did not know what a foot worship was. I was thinking, how God like washes your feet. So I was like, so I have to wash his feet like with water. Remember, I said shipping feet.
Dude, I am the opposite in that I want to know everything. The last thing,
right.
And it's probably a military thing. I always want to be a subject matter expert in it. I don't ever want to show up somewhere, not be prepared enough, and not look like I've never done it before.
Right, I'm a soldier, but I still want to be prepared. I'm kidding.
I'm not.
I'm just kidding.
It's a very different mentality, So I just feel like I was learning and asking the questions, and I sop up everything. I soak it all in like a friggin' sponge. But we've had some great friends and mentors in a way along the way
to help us out and understand
from Laura Cross to Kimchi Fetish to Bambi Boy, Tiramisu. We've had a lot of folks that have been there to kind of help us and guide us along the way.
Oh, that's trust me, if I didn't have, and which is crazy because I don't think I started off in any one side. I kind of was in the middle all the time. It just depends how my mood was, if I would be super hardcore or I'd be super fetish. And then there was one time where I was just doing hardcore. And I'm like, as you get into this, you learn what sells, what doesn't sell for you. And so I'm like, wait, I could sell this over here, fetish, for more than I'm doing over here, with less pressure, less issues, less this. I'm gonna stay on this side of the court. You know what I mean? Every now and again, I do go back to the hardcore, but with how so much stuff is going on in the industry now, for me, it's not worth it a lot. It's just not. And like you said, JR, you know what I mean? Like having to be a male, be hard, be on set, get these weird, uncomfortable ass angles, pop on cue. Because it's not even so much the producer or the director, because most of them know, right? They'd be like, all right, well, if you're not shooting up your dick or whatever, this comes with it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times the backlash from the co-stars. that could sometimes be like, all right, we're supposed to be adults. We're supposed to be able to handle this maturity, mature like. And the
Yep.
first thing you want to do is run to social media and say blah 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 blah.
Right.
So yeah.
It's
I tell
it's a
I tell males it's not an easy gig.
no, it's not. Even just the simple fact of like a lot of people are not all that comfortable, especially like being around another dude with this stuff happening. My go-to example all the time is Amy Quinn, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so her husband has a long beard.
Mhm.
So he runs camera. And so trying to maintain my headspace while his beard is like tickling my chest because he's getting the the POV shot.
Yeah.
It is not it's not always an easy thing.
Right. And I've been camera over people's shoulders, around
Yeah.
people's waist, had to a lot of the males that I've worked with too know I'm not trying to do anything weird to them.
Right.
So I might tap them on the shoulder, like kind of move them back because hey, you're blocking the shot. I get
Right.
It's feeling good to you, so you're starting to hunch, but I need you to kind of
Yep.
back away. But I'm also aware too of I try not to do too much because that tickling that he does, although it's not his fault, can fuck a dude up.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that's what like you've gotta maintain your headspace. You've gotta remember what you're doing, and whether it's fun or not is kind of irrelevant when the scene's coming. You're on a job, you get the job done. You know. So again, handle all things with a little bit of grace, but also be a professional and try not to make excuses for this or that, or be a professional.
Yeah. So what would you say? I'll ask y'all individually.
Okay.
What your personal kink that fans would never expect from you?
Oh, okay. Well,
y'all didn't know I was gonna have these on. Okay, y'all thought it was gonna be some bullshit. I get you. I got you. I got.
I already know one of them that I hope.
Yeah. Well, I know that mine is I like my hair tugged a little bit, and I like the guy to do doggy style, and then he just like pulls me forward.
Those are my favorite
Okay.
positions. Oh, kink.
Oh,
What
kink.
like kink do you have?
Yeah.
What I like to do with him.
As far as like a fetish.
Like, showering a guy.
Yeah. Like you love cleaning.
I like cleaning. So like I like the nurturing,
really?
cleaning, and after a scene, like if I didn't have to go to a convention or rush somewhere else, I would ask the talent like, "Hey, can I wash you? It's my personal kink." I like washing his entire body, massage.
I'm here for that. I like to be catered. I like to be catered to. I like that shit.
That's
hey, ladies,
my thing. I think it's my thank you.
Shower these guys afterwards. Actually, shower them before because some of the guys are, but shower them afterwards too.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like a form of aftercare too.
Yeah.
I enjoy that too. Sometimes, like if we're shooting with another female, I just like after the shoot's done, it's almost like a way to come back down and still kind of just like remember, like, yeah, we just did this on camera, but we're still people and we still have,
and believe it or not, they get more comfortable and they get to know you, and everything is nobody's nervous anymore. Everybody's relaxed and they just open up, and it's a great way to break the ice.
That's a part of the industry that is lacking, that passion and intimacy, because all we see is people just fucking pile driving, into, and trying to be as rough as possible. That sensual shit goes on. That's why the whole massage thing is becoming a craze again, because it's taking your time. It's bringing that intimacy back into, porn. Okay, Jazmine, let me find out. Yeah, that's dope. Okay, I didn't expect that one. I thought you were going to say something super disgusting, but I fucks with that.
I like being
I fucks
clean
with
and
that.
cleaning others.
So
Right.
I have for me, a lot of it, I was not, I didn't really know that I had any fetishes or kinks or anything, but as I shoot things, I kind of learn like, oh, I kind of like that. So tickling, being the tickler for
Okay.
whatever reason, I'll be shooting a scene and all of a sudden I'm like, the
Oh,
fuck?
fact. Okay. Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I apologize. Apparently this does something for me. I'm not trying to be, like if I need to step off screen for a minute, take a
Yeah.
breather and then go back, like the last thing I want to do,
I did not know that.
So and then
Oh.
woman you knew. And I think back to when we were newly together, like that was kind of one of my precursors to us fooling around is I used to tickle her.
Mm.
And I had like
He's
completely
like
blocked
light
that.
bulb, cartoon
Yeah.
light
That
bulb
makes
goes off.
sense.
Yeah.
So and then nursing. Like I love breast milk. We had a shoot in Chicago with Luna Colombiana. And she was like, hey, I'm still lactating, just a heads up, like if you
You're
start
like,
sucking on my
bring it.
nipples. So not at that point, had no idea that was the thing.
Oh, so
that
she
I liked.
unlocked this.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, ooh, I kind of like this. This is kind of hot.
Yeah. So okay.
Always
I
evolving.
like when kinks are. So I'll give y'all because this will be I'll give y'all two.
Okay.
Edging. If I edge a woman or like sensual BDSM,
Yep.
I don't have to do anything. He's ready. He is ready. That's one. The second one I'll tell. It's a little disgusting, but it's whatever. It's my show. I can do what the fuck I want.
Hey, we listen and we don't judge. We don't kink shame. We don't yuck anyone's yum.
So I was filming with a homegirl of mine. This was before I really became heavy. I was still dabbing my toe in it. I was more heavier in photography at this time. So we filmed some stuff and I was fucking her face and then she threw up on me.
Oh.
And I was like, and I kept going. And now girls in the industry, certain ones know that's my thing. So they'd be like, hey, I need to shoot this. Are you down? I'm like, yeah, let's run it. I did 2 years. Was it 2? It might have been 2 or 3 years ago in Miami Exotica. No, XBiz. And we made a fucking mess.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like the last day in the hotel, so I didn't even really give a fuck. I'm like, bet. But yeah, so that's one. So, since y'all are being candid and opening up to me, I felt like I should share that with you.
I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Yeah, like we are all about acceptance and what other people's kinks are.
We're not judgmental.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it may not be our kink, but you are 100% welcome to have your own.
To have your own.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this one is for Jazmine. Then we're going to take a little break.
Okay.
Which of your roles, model, trainer, wrestler, producer, podcast host, God damn you, I have a lot of jobs and you have me beat, makes you feel more sexually empowered?
I would say, honestly, the fitness training aspect. I think I've done it for so long, and I didn't know. I was telling JR this, that there was like gym porn, and I was like, he was actually deployed, and at the time I would masturbate. I didn't have a toy back then. I just watched stuff, pump things, pump pillows.
She had a glowworm like on
Yeah. Oh,
I was hoping. Yeah.
And
then one day,
I'm talking shit. Like
one day I was like,
I'm old enough to know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
So then I said, well, I was saying, I was like, wait, oh my gosh, like the girl was squatting, and then he just went and like licked her and did all that stuff on the bench, And I just went to the gym, and that's all I could think about. I was just,
Mm,
I had dirty thoughts. I still have dirty thoughts. So when I go work out at the gym,
yeah.
like I wasn't like this before, but now I am. Now I do porn. Like I'm always thinking, number one, what idea can I do in the scene? But I'm sexually aroused by like men that are just like working out, and I'm
What?
thinking, I wish my face was there. I wish they were behind me like that. And but I gotta, I'm a very focused. I've been a trainer for so long.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm no longer training. I'm training. I'm a perverted trainer. So
Right.
I get in the gym going, oh my god, that turns me on. But
Do
that's
you think
probably
it's the
empowering for me.
pheromones and the sweat and the grunts and
Probably, yeah, something
the
about that just turned me
animalistic
on.
part? Because I
Yeah,
mean, think
yes.
about it. Besides women, a lot of them now, the social media ones too. I'll throw that one out there. For the most part, we go to the gym to work out. We don't give a fuck
Yeah.
who's there. We trying to get as much sweat on us as possible.
Yes.
We're grunting, we're straining, we're bulging, we're doing all the things. So I could definitely see where that would be like, huh. I
Yeah.
already thought of scenes for you for that concept. I
And
mean,
it's
I think
crazy.
it'd be dope concept to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
so many. And I was telling JR, this gym that we've been joining for the last few years, like there are
Mm.
so many attractive guys. Like I'm too shy to come up to them to do any like OF content because I don't want to be scared to be like they're in the vanilla world and I make a mistake. But my friend is like, oh my gosh, you should be confident to come up to them. And I've seen a couple guys that I've been like looking at, and then I just look at them and I just walk away in the bathroom. It's just like I
Oh,
get scared.
we were going to take a break, but you hit on something that I feel is very, 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 very important. A lot of people feel because we do this,
Uh-huh.
that we as a whole are the most aggressive, sexually depraved, always thinking about sex type
Yes.
of people. And even me, I don't approach women. And now if they're eye fucking the shit out of me, okay, then I will. But if
Yes.
not, I'm kind of like, oh, she's just being nice and I just go about my business.
Right.
So the fans will look at you and be like, oh, why is she shy? She should be able to just walk up to a dude, grab him
Mhm.
by his dick, lead him to the bathroom, and
Right.
they'd be about whatever. But you just said you're shy. Like
Yeah.
that's not necessarily your character.
Mhm.
And then you have Jazmine, who probably is a little bit more aggressive. Like
Mhm.
I noticed that a lot.
Yes.
Whatever the person is at home, their character that they make up is the total opposite.
Um, I think she's more just. It's just a more exaggerated version of her. It's just
Mm.
it's her, but less inhibition. Um,
What's that mean?
like basically, you're not as you throw caution to the wind and you just fucking go.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
more like me when I'm hectic and I'm in porn mode
Yes.
and convention mode. I
Mhm.
am like you couldn't tell me I wasn't Don Juan. I'm just, hey, how you doing?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I'm here, I'm by myself most of the time, and I enjoy. I'm more of an introvert. I know this is gonna sound crazy to a lot of people. I am. I
Yeah.
love my alone time. After 3 days with someone, I'm like, don't you have someplace to be? Like you have a job, your home, anything. Please go there. Like I need my time. So I get it.
Yes.
But with that, we're going to take a little break and we're going to freshen our drinks and come back with a lovely couple and talk some more shit.
It's a real big. We learn you something though.
Yes, we are back. This is very interesting. Like when I started doing this podcast, it was just an extension of what I was already doing, I feel. But I like it because I get to know people that I've seen, been following, talked to, because you just never know in this industry, especially at convention, it's high and by.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
shit, high and by. You know what I mean? So now be able to slow it down, be able to get into certain topics with people and you learn how they tick is good.
Yeah.
Um, let me see what question I have for JR. Oh, what's something that you feel you want to shoot? Like, what if you were to say, this is what my series would be for myself? What is it and why?
I mean, we're already kind of shooting a bunch of them.
Mhm.
I tried all of our stuff is like an extension of ourselves. A kink or just something that turns us on in general. So like we have we call it a cut queen's tale. Fuck my husband while
That's
I
my
watch.
shit.
You know? So
Cut
basically,
cleaning. Oh,
yeah. So it sounds a lot better than fuck my husband while I watch. Like we end up doing a lot of like it starts off as just a very upfront and kind of a little extra wordy, but it just
mhm,
blatantly what it is. So
mhm.
it's a series where basically she is finding women that she wants to see me fuck. And
Okay.
so there's like the dialogue part of it is a lot of it is the build up, the her propositioning her and kind of like going through the process of it. Um and I really do enjoy that one. Um we're starting one with I've got a few that we're gonna start doing that I'm also really excited about where it's like we're messing around with like the same person
Mhm.
because Jazmine is bi. So like we're gonna do some of like the babysitter and the
Sneaking
friend.
around, right?
Yeah, like because it like realistically we're open. If we wanna fuck somebody, we just kind of like, hey, met this DTF. We're gonna and
Mhm.
we're just like, yeah, just send me a couple photos, maybe a little video, and have fun. Um, but having it a little bit of that like sneakiness, and then realizing like, wait, we could have just been fucking each other the whole time, So like, it'd be like
Right.
I'm messing with the babysitter, and then she's messing with the babysitter, and then one of the times one of us is messing with them, the other one comes home, and it's like, the fuck.
Yeah, you should have just told me. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Right. We could have
like
been all having fun.
let's team this shit up.
Right.
Um, we've got
Nah,
the
that's
Doctor
dope
Hot
concept.
Wife series that we've been doing for a while. And I as much as I enjoy being a part of it, I enjoy the creating and the filming and getting the right photos and all of that stuff. I love that part of it too. So that's where she is a sex therapist who handles
Mhm.
specializes in sexual addiction.
Oh, I saw either a trailer about it. And I was like, because for me, porn is boring. Porn is hella boring,
Yeah.
right? So when I see people taking little stuff, it could still be porn-ish, right?
Yeah.
But when I see people being creative with it, I'm like, damn. Like when I started Dry Bone, I had people before I even launched it. It was just
Yep.
in the talks. I filmed a couple episodes. It was just in the talks. I remember going to Jersey
Yep.
and mad producers were like, bro, I don't know why I never thought about that shit. Like it's so you see what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
the kind of things that keep us going because we're like, oh, we struck something. It's already resonated with our peers, so it's going to
Yep.
resonate with our fans. So that's
Yeah.
dope. Keep that shit going.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
As a couple, what's the biggest turn on about sharing the spotlight, and what's the hardest part?
want to go first?
Okay. Guess what? Biggest turn on about sharing the spotlight in podcasts or in porn or what kind
He's
of?
All
talking about
across
it
the board.
yeah. Go for it.
Oh,
He was just initially just like, what is the most turn on part? Can you say it again? I'm sorry.
Okay. As a couple, what's
Yep.
the biggest turn on about sharing the spotlight, and what's the hardest part?
well, for me, the biggest turn on for me is whenever he does a scene with another female, and he went, I believe it was out of Georgia. I was in Georgia, and he went out of town, and he shot a scene with another female, and he did like the standing 69. So
Okay.
I honestly respond. He did not know I was going to respond. So I see the photo on Twitter. I'm like, oh my gosh, could you do that to me when you come home? And I was masturbating hard. Like I was like,
Yeah.
and he saw the comments. He's like, oh, you like that? I'm like, I loved it. And it's
Mhm.
just that kind of reaction saying he's enjoying her. But guess what? He could come home to me and do the same thing. And it just drive me crazy.
Yeah.
And make me real wet.
It actually
What's the hardest part?
Yeah, that move actually started from an idea that I had. We were shooting a scene with Laura Cross in the shower, and so I was like, I want to try something. And Laura's a tiny little thing, so she easy to pick up. I knew I could do it safely. And so it started in the shower doing the standing 69 thing, and then she was just kind of there watching, and I was like, I want her to work on it too, to be a part of it too. So it started as that, and then I would like lean forward so that her and I both could eat the girl out at the same time. So I love
hate
doing
showers. I hate shower scene. I hate shower sex. I feel like I've watched a lot of the Final Destinations. I feel that would be my end. The first time,
the cleaning, I like the clean.
You don't mind shower foreplay.
Yeah.
Shower sex. I'm like, oh God.
Yes.
Yeah. So what would you say was the hardest part though, Jazmine?
For the standing 69 part?
No. What's the hardest part?
Wait, what?
The hardest part of sharing the spotlight.
Oh, the hardest part of sharing it. Well, for me, it was probably because I know we both talk a lot, and sometimes we have to stop each other from talking, or I talk too much over him, or he talks over me. So I think that's what we're trying to work on. Because I'm a co-host of the podcast, but sometimes he takes over, and he'll look at me, and I'd be like this. I zone out, and I'm thinking, are you done talking yet? And then he goes, well, you can bring in something, but it's hard to interrupt because I'm trying to be respectful on the podcast. So that maybe that's what we're still working on. And I still try to cue him. But sometimes I'm too scared to answer it because the question may be too complicated for my brain. So then I look at him and say, can you answer? And wink at him.
Okay. It'll come with time because although I have this show, I also am on another show where I co-host as well. And the panel is 5 of us.
Oh,
nice.
So yeah, having to be able to, and sometimes, Jazmine, this is my advice to you. Sometimes you just gotta go for it because I know how it feels when you're thinking of something. The person that you're interviewing just said something, but if you wait too long, that moment and what you're thinking about is fucking gone.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes you just have to go for it. And with y'all working together all the time, y'all would know when, go ahead, ask that. You know what I mean? Type of deal, or vice versa.
Yeah, like right now, I have one right now. Like when he talks about military stuff and he goes in tangents, and I get so confused. You get really in your own mind thing. He's talking all these numbers and letters, and I'm like, I don't get this.
It is definitely
politics.
Something.
No.
We say
like
we're
most people
politics.
wouldn't know. Yeah, most people wouldn't even know that I was in because I just it was a time that I lived, you know. JR, same question. What's the biggest thing that turns you on about it, and what's the turn off?
Okay, so the biggest thing that turns me on about it is when she doesn't distract me. When we're shooting like scenes or she has a pro scene, so I can tell between her fake and her real like
right, yeah.
So when it switches to the latter, I'm like, yeah, she is liking this,
right.
So we shot a scene, or she shot a scene for Hazel Grace's company in Melanin. And so Hazel is the director producer, and then she has Samaj that runs camera for her. And so it was a scene of her and Dreadsway. And so she asked if I was gonna. She didn't ask. She asked, but she was like, "You better be there. Like you're
Gotcha.
not gonna be at the set."
Okay.
So as she's shooting and they're getting into the sex scene and stuff, and me and Hazel are texting back and forth, like, "This is fucking hot," you know. Like I that's the biggest turn on for me is like when she's enjoying the shit out of it, and when I know that the real Jazmine is in it, not just actress Jazmine. Um, that's the biggest turn on. The hardest part for me is really when we fall out of sync. If like, because I can get hyper focused on something, especially like when I'm in director mode. Like if I'm like really like I'm just stuck on this one thing that I need her to say, and I sometimes end up reverting back to my army days, and I have to be really really careful with that because especially with another talent on set, like they don't know necessarily our dynamic, and the last thing you want to do is make them feel uncomfortable. You know, like I'm just a loud person, and I'm a yeller, but I'm not yelling typically at somebody. I'm just yelling in their general direction, and it just like I don't know how else to express it. So I just kind of yell.
Got you.
Not necessarily a great thing with different people in this industry, especially those that have had perhaps a checkered past or a troubled childhood or a prior relationship that was not good. So that can be kind of triggering sometimes, even though for us, like it's just a lot of times like she knows, oh shit, JR's having a rough go right now.
Right.
You know, but they don't know that necessarily. So it's just that's probably our biggest challenge. Like, you know, when I know, especially like I know that she can do a scene better if I'm like producing it, and I know like she's distracted or you know just something else. I know that there's something not right, and it's like I want to fix it. I want to help her, but I don't always have the words to try to get what I need out of her, and it becomes extremely frustrating.
Got you. Yeah, trust me, I've dated quite a few people in this industry, so I understand that because it becomes we're not a couple. This is work.
Right.
So I need you to do what I need you to do so we could move past this. So I 100% understand. I totally understand that one. Do you two set boundaries for threesomes, collabs, or fan interaction, or is it a free for all?
Well, for me, I do set boundaries with us.
Okay.
And like he said, we were swingers, so I kind of like.
Stopped.
I mean, we are.
She's like past tense, bitch.
I mean, we
I
are.
was like, damn.
We are swingers still.
You better tell your boyfriend that.
Oh, okay. So we are swingers, but we do set boundaries and we still maintain them because there's certain things I don't like and that I know I don't like, and I'm very assertive about it, or else you know I won't be in the right headspace about it. I like that word headspace, but anyway, for him, he's the same way. Boundaries too, because we know each other well. We're married to each other for 20 years, so we can read each other already, and our emotions will say it too. And sometimes it's happened a couple of times where I keep forgetting to talk about boundaries, and then I usually say, "I wonder why that guy didn't kiss me passionately." Well, did you tell him he's allowed? Because sometimes they may not do that in the scenes, and I didn't know that.
Listen, I cannot stand that, and I'm gonna explain why.
Yeah.
When I reach out to a talent, I say, "What's your do's and don'ts?"
Right.
If something's not mentioned in those do's and don'ts, I don't do it. I literally had I had a girl, we did a scene together and I didn't know where to pop. right? Because we
Yeah.
didn't discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
And with this industry, us males have to be overly cautious or should be overly cautious, right?
Yes.
So after the scene, she's like, "Oh, I was hoping you were going to pop on my face." We did not discuss that.
Yeah.
I love giving facials, but we
Yeah.
didn't discuss that. So I was just like, the chest to be safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a go-to safe space for people. So,
Yeah.
and she's like, "No, I would have just like gobbled it up." And I'm like, "You should have said something. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to pop. You know, I'm getting ready to pop. Say some shit like, come in my mouth." I'd be like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so yes, we as a whole need to get better at boundaries, especially when we shooting scenes. Because
Yep.
I am a kisser. I love to kiss. I
Mhm.
realize everyone's not a kisser though.
Right.
So I
did
respect
not
that
know.
boundary. But oh my God, dick rock hard, especially if they kiss passionately.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm solid. I'm
Yes.
solid.
Yeah.
What? Speaking of, I shot with y'all probably know her, Kendra Allure.
Yeah.
She gets me every goddamn time. Like I be ready. Like, cause she's a great kisser. Kendra, you're a great kisser. I know I've told you that many times, but here it is. Solid. So yeah, you should have told them, hey, or you could have did that implied shit women like to do that they don't think
Yeah.
us men pay attention to do. You could have did that and he probably would have taken it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So you brought up an excellent point. And so like all of those little things, the lessons that we learned from a shoot and stuff. So like our pre-shoot discussion is very, very extensive. Sometimes almost it takes longer to get through that part of it than it does to actually shoot the scene. But so like we talk about blocks, especially when we're talking specifically about a porn scene. And then when it gets to like for the pop, you know, like our big questions are like, where do you want it? Do you have a preference? You know, especially like if it's another male talent, you know, like, hey dude, so what is your easiest position to pop? And so we structure the blocks around that. As far as, you know, and consent. So like we had kind of touched on that before, like, you know, you said, you know, Jazmine or like other people, like we don't just like walk around and start like grabbing dicks or grabbing boobs or any of that stuff. Like consent is everything in life and in this industry. So we, you know, we love to echo the consent is sexy. So
No facts.
you know, like that is something that, yeah, in a scene it may look like we're just grabbing, touching, kissing, you know, picking somebody up, but it's a scene. I'm not actually going to a grocery store and gonna like pick a chick up, turn her around, and start eating her out while she's sucking my dick. You know, like goals. Not really.
It'd
though.
be
Like,
nice next to the cucumber, so I could just reach over, and, you know.
But again, like that still goes back to consent between two adults that are going to do an act like that. But and then the consent of the people around that may not want to witness something like that. That's like that's a huge part of it, which is one of the things, and one of the if you at some point I'll get into the why we started our podcast and all of that stuff, but focusing on just like the boundaries thing. Now, initially, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the question was boundaries for us, not necessarily when we're shooting.
Right.
So we don't have a lot of boundaries necessarily, but also it's like kind of unspoken because we know we've known each other long enough to where we kind of know things. If there's something where there is an issue, we will pause on everything else and have that conversation. It doesn't matter what we're doing, what we're in the middle of. Like Mama says, stop, we need to talk. We stop. And then we talk. So like that's kind of really where that is. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a free for all, but it's kind of a free for all because we love all that shit.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Uh, I'm gonna ask this, and then we'll talk about your podcast. Do y'all ever struggle with how much you show versus how much to keep secret?
I think for me, there's certain things that I like to keep between us, or like
Mhm.
if we're having sex, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I want to monetize, and I always do this to Jr. Like we'll have this hot, passionate sex, and I'm like, I'm ready to get the cell phone. I'm like, babe, are you ready for
Right,
this? He goes,
right,
no, this is
right.
not a moment.
If you're gonna shout, stop. If you're gonna shout, stay back away so that I can adjust the microphone. If you're
I-
gonna,
Yeah.
okay,
sorry,
I was saying
she's passionate about what she talks about.
No, no, no. I see
no,
it.
I just see. All I said was, if we have sex, like when I did like a blowjob, and I had sex with, and I was so ready to get the cameras, both of them, and you're like, no, this is our time. This is sacred to us. This
Mhm.
is between us. And I said, it could be us and more of us around us. And you were like, no. I was like, no.
Yeah.
But you gotta keep a piece for yourself.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
one thing that to me, that's like a secret thing between us. Like when we come together, he doesn't want to show that because that's something that we love each other in an intimate moment other than work.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
but what was the other thing you said? What was the secret?
Well, that's a good one to touch on, and that's like unless if there's a custom or like a hired shoot,
Yeah.
that's one thing. But if it's just us having husband and wife time,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I like to keep that to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. No, and it's been my thing since being in this industry. I don't do solos.
Yeah,
That's my time.
yeah.
That's, and I literally had a fan a couple days ago on my post be like, yeah, because I was thinking about. I asked what should be my next series, what should
Yep.
be my next fetish series, and they were like, well, we really would like to see a solo, and I was like, absolutely not. Unfortunately, I said it then, and I'm sticking to it now. That's my time. That's
Yep.
me time. That's not for me to show anybody else. Now, if it's a mutual masturbation scene or something like that, fine. I'm
Yeah.
good with that. But me by myself, no, absolutely not. So, why did y'all start this podcast out of the blue? Like y'all just popped out and was like, we have a podcast.
Yeah. So, part of it started with we got outed by one of the kids on a wrestling team that was, I guess, so after COVID, there were a lot of people that were getting into like the OnlyFans and stuff. So there was this one kid on one of the other wrestling teams in our town that he made it his goal was to try to find any and every couple, mom, father, whatever that was on the hub. So this dude found us, took some screenshots, put it in a group chat with all of the wrestlers. The kids were upset, and not that they didn't already know, because we talked to our kids before we even started, when we started doing this type of stuff. Because we don't want to be deceitful, and
Right.
we want our kids to kind of understand it and also not feel ashamed about it.
Right.
But still, like, there's when it happened, like the concept, the thought of, they know it's not going to bug them. The kids, I know what mom and dad do, no big deal.
Mhm.
When it actually happens,
It's a total different shit
it's a
show.
totally different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found out, I was like, I got on the phone with that coach to let him know what was going on. I got on the phone. I was an assistant coach, a volunteer assistant coach for my kids' high school. I gave him a call. I gave our booster club president a call. Was like, hey, look, this is the situation that's going on. I just want to be completely open, honest, candid with y'all. And so my head coach fired me. Said, you can't coach anymore now. And I was like, Okay. I mean, it's bullshit, but you know, whatever. So I was like, this is insane. Like, I'm volunteering my time and I want to be closer with my kids. This is something that my kids and I share, and I like being able to share that with them and also help to teach and mentor all of these other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is bullshit. So we had talked for a long time about, like, just in general, like, we should have a podcast because we love to talk. We road trip just about everywhere that we can go unless it's, you know, clear across the country.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is it. We are going to start this podcast and we want to share, like, part of our world and let people see that, you know, what we do on camera does not define who we are as people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of give the vanilla world a peek into how the sausage is made, so to speak. Yeah, we
How
get
the
a
sausage
little
is made.
yeah. So, you know, like, we try not to be outwardly salacious. That's not what this is about for us.
Mm-hmm.
It does sometimes come out in our conversations, but it's never like the actual goal.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm sure you've noticed in the intros, she does do this little moaning thing whenever she introduces herself, and I
Mm-hmm.
always respond with, every time, can we just do it normal once?
Right.
Sometimes she'll be like, "Oh, okay. Hi, I'm
Yeah,
Jazmine."
right.
Or she'll be like, "No." It just kind of however the day feels. But
Right.
it just, so, like, it contrasts us, and we want to be able to also provide a safe space for other creators, other producers, other, just, like, even people that are industry adjacent. We want to provide them the safe space to share whatever they want with our fans, with the audience, and be able to, you know, humanize us more. You know, like, we openly talk about our kids. We don't typically use their names so much,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
you know, for obvious reasons. But, like,
Right.
we share that with our audience, and we want them to know, like, we're good fucking parents. We got our first kid getting ready to go to university and got accepted into the honors college within that university.
That's dope.
Yeah. Next week we drive up to Fargo, North Dakota. Our daughter is competing in junior nationals for freestyle wrestling.
Okay.
Like, we've got awesome fucking kids.
Yeah, and for the first
So
time,
well, I have one question before you say what you're about to say, Jazmine. Did y'all press charges?
No. I
you just didn't want to do the drama.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to get ahead of the situation, make sure everybody knew what was going on. He's a fucking kid. Boys are stupid. Even now, I'm a grown ass man. I'm still dumb as fuck.
Well,
like, I don't always make the right choices, but, you know, when you're a 16-year-old kid,
I get that. But,
you know,
you're dealing, if you went out and you put a firecracker next to something and something happens, okay, that's one thing. But you were maliciously, like, it's not like he stumbled on it and then was like, oh, by the way, look what I found.
Yeah.
You made it a purpose to find everyone in your town situation, what they had going on. Like you're some Cape Crusader or something trying to. No, fucker, hey, throw it at him. Like, even if I was like, all right, I don't really want it to go this far. I need you to at least be fearful of the consequences and your actions that you do. That's all. But I get it. I understand.
Yeah. Now, if a kid went from this point on and they're like, if there's, especially like if they're sending shit directly to my kid and be like, look what I found of your parents. I'm gonna hit you up with freaking distribution of pornography to a minor, and I'm gonna fucking ruin your life.
Yes.
But that first time, like, I wasn't. I
I
wanted,
know you're
you know,
you're in what is not crisis mode, but
damage control,
damage control. Yeah,
you
yeah, I
know?
get it. I get it.
Yeah. You were going to say something big.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, it was just something positive. Not that that wasn't positive, but
Yeah.
it was more of a for the for the first time. I was not ready to say on Instagram my story about how my daughter actually chose my outfit, was recording my gym outfits. Before, I was a little bit hush hush about disclosing that on my story, but people at the club last night were like, "Oh wow, your daughter chose your outfit. She's been recording your gym like tutorials and all your workouts." I was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, did you think it was just me and my husband? It's not actually. My daughter is
Right.
the one that chooses my clothes. She's done my fashion, my hair, my makeup. She looks
Mhm.
at my videos and tweaks it, and she's probably really great out being my a big support."
Alice.
Yes, yes.
Mind you, again, we're discussing the safe for work stuff right
No,
now.
no, no.
Not,
Fitness, yeah, yes.
It went unsaid. I
you
knew
know,
what you were saying.
The fitness.
They might have not, but
yeah,
I understood
right.
everything you were
You
saying.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
just,
meant the fitness, the safe
For
for work
clarity,
fitness stuff.
oh,
Yeah.
clarity.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Nah,
Yeah,
I
so
got you.
it made me a little bit more confident because at first I wasn't sure like how I was gonna say that, but now I'm more confident to say it. She's at the age where, she's mature enough to like understand what I do, but
Right.
respect it. Oh, stop pushing my breast.
I'm trying to slide you back.
Okay.
I do feel, and this is me personally,
Yep.
with what we do, with those that have kids, it's imperative for us to protect their youth even more.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen women, because I don't think men do it as much. They'll literally be like, "Hey, buy my OnlyFans of me getting blasted in the face, blah 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 blah." Kid. Hey, next one. Hey, this is me finger blasting myself. Then kid. And I'm like, have a separate page to do that. I understand you want to show that you're a great mom and all that. But when you have those two worlds kind of like this, it's hard, especially I've seen a lot of young girls, like mothers with young girls.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't tell no one how to raise their kid, but it's just not wise, in my
Right.
opinion. So I get that y'all keep the shit separate,
Yes.
as your
Yeah.
clarity was implying. And
Yeah.
I do appreciate that, because it is scary out here. And you do want to be like, no, we're regular. It's like what I asked, about, what's seen versus what's unseen. Yeah, we want to show that we're regular fucking people. And
Yep.
sometimes we do the most to do that, when in reality, who we like trying to impress with this shit? Like, the
Yeah.
fans? Like, I don't give a fuck what they think about my parenting skills. Like, fuck you. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
probably jerking off in some deep dark room or some shit. Like, all right, cool. But yeah, it's I've seen a lot being in this industry, and it's like, and now with how social media is working, it's like people trying to put more and more of their real self into said space. And I'm like, no one needs to know who I am personally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is whatever I put on social media, this is what the fuck you get
Yeah.
from me. What's probably one of the most shocking things one of your guests has either said or done on your podcast?
Ooh, that's a good question.
See, y'all thought I was gonna come with some bull. I feel like y'all
I
thought I was
know.
gonna
I
come with
love
some
it.
bullshit
I
tonight.
love it.
Yeah, you're making us think. My brain is like really boiling in there. Like, whoa, okay. Craziest thing probably was
I'm still working. I was like waiting to hear what you was gonna say.
That's a tough one. I usually the crazy stuff on here. It's the opposite. We're the ones.
So I would say some of the stuff that our guests have shared about themselves, there's a wide array. One of our guests was willing and felt safe enough to share with us some of their issues with self-harm in the past and their struggles with mental health. I think that was kind of a great one. Because again, like we want them to feel safe to share anything and everything they can. Because we want our listeners to know that, like, in addition to all, like, yeah, we're parents and all of that stuff, and also we struggle with shit.
No, 100%. 100%.
So yeah, like I hope that fans will understand that, like, saying, hey, sometimes we may need to disappear for like a couple of weeks or a couple months, depending on what's going on. And so I think a lot of that is really more that aspect of it.
And how did you feel when you heard that? Like, how did you?
I mean, I felt good in the fact that, like I said, we provided a space where they could share that. So I was joyful of the trust that they put in us and the
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Because I had one the beginning of this season, and it was someone that I met on other podcasts, and she started telling me or telling us about her journey with same thing, mental health, how how her process was find a therapist that she trusted, felt close with, felt vulnerable with. And the whole time she was talking, I was like, I was shocked because I didn't think that's where it was going to go. Like, I had no idea she was going to bring this up. But just like you said, I felt good because she felt comfortable enough to be able to share that. Because when someone, especially talks about their mental health, I don't want to say issues and problems, but their mental health journey, it's not the easiest just to tell people about that. So when she told me, I was like, so I could understand what you're saying. Like, it might have felt like, oh shit, okay, I'm that person. Cool. Tell me more. Whatever you feel you need to share, I'm here for you in that aspect. So no, I get that 100%.
Yeah. Oh, Inca. How the fuck did we forget? Inca Winter, the CEO of Foreplay Films.
Okay.
Grew up in a was in a sex cult in Austria.
I always wanted to be in the sex cult. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was
yeah, it was part of a whole commune thing. The way she described it, it wasn't as much of a it wasn't
orgies every night.
Right, and there were kids and stuff that grew up on these communes. So it was. So, but it was, that was probably the most outrageous one. It was like a very free love cult thing. Like, they labeled it a cult, but I don't know, maybe you have to listen to the episode to really kind of get the full extent of it. But that was definitely probably the most crazy one.
Okay. I'm gonna ask one more and then we're gonna get the hell up out of here.
Okay.
Let me,
because we'll talk forever. Like our podcast, we don't have limits on time. We just kind of go.
Yeah. I'll explain the limits on time because it used to be 2+ hours and I just got shit to do. So I narrowed it down this season because I'm gonna do more episodes. So I narrowed it down to an hour. So because I understand the nights that I shoot, people got stuff to do, got to get ready for the work week, all that. So I don't want to hold them up anymore. But
Absolutely.
my question is for both of you.
Okay.
What's, in your opinion, something that is the most outrageous? What's the most outrageous thing that you think you want to shoot? Like before this whole thing is done and over with, what do you think is like, I need to have that happen before I'm done?
Or I'm like done like with doing porn totally, or I really like, was that 8 Mile High? What do you call that?
Yeah, when you're in the plane?
Yeah, the plane. 8 Mile. What is that?
8 Mile.
Yeah,
What's it
Mile.
called? What's it called?
I know
Mile High
she's,
Club.
she's,
Mile High
she's channeling her M&M's. Yes.
You only got one shot,
Right.
one opportunity.
Mile High Club. I think it's fascinating to me because I usually get on an airplane and I do my little like selfies for OnlyFans, naked, hike up my skirt. And then I've always had like these hot guys in front of me in the airplane. And I was like, JR, there he is. And okay, there's my move. And I was like, oh man, he's sleeping. But I want to say something to him. I want to say something
just wake
to
him up. Just wait. It's easy
It's
to
like,
wake
what
him
are you
up.
doing?
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, man, just make out with me. I always wanted to sit next to a really like attractive guy, and I had the opportunity, but that opportunity got shot because actually I was so tired from the flight. So I was putting my suitcase on the rack thing, and then all of a sudden he's like, you can sit next to me. I was like, no, I'm tired. And then later on, I turn around like, oh my God, he's gorgeous. What the heck was I thinking?
Settle back.
And then I was like, well, there was my chance. But if he's out there and if you're listening to this podcast, wherever you are, Mr. Mystery, Mile High Man, I want to do content with you. That's what I want. I want that.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So that's definitely a goal, is to be to the point where we can pay for a private jet so that we can shoot some shit
There's
like
one
that.
in Vegas.
Yeah,
it's not cheap, but it's
That's what I mean. Like, we need to get some money to go along with this.
No, I feel you on that one.
Or I need to get to know some of the people that own it and start working my way in there.
Yeah.
Network.
Yeah.
We are in the market for sugar daddies. For the record,
right,
for
like
Jazmine.
she's been one of these shits, so she's ready. She's
Oh my God.
All right.
Be juggling them.
What about you, JR?
So one of the things that we wanted to do this.
Not we, you.
Oh, well, yeah. One of the things I wanted to do this year was a big year for us for anniversary. I turned 40, and we hit 20 years. So I want to shoot a 20-person swinger orgy to commemorate our 20 years of marriage.
Let me know when.
Right? Trying to organize something like that is not an easy feat at all.
No.
So,
I love orgies.
Yep.
2, bro, you can't get 5 people sometimes to be in the same spot, area, time. Yeah, so 20 people, bless your heart.
Right.
But if anything does happen and you don't get 20 people, I had an idea. I could wear different costumes, like a hair weave. I could be like a black girl and get like dreads.
No,
or like a blonde wig.
Hilarious. She's like, I'll just be different people. I got you.
That actually wouldn't be a bad idea, because I do a lot of like voices and accents and stuff. So I can be the German guy from Bavaria.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
she's like,
I can also be a Frenchman, and how to be pleasing of the ladies that I like to do, huh?
Yeah, she's like, I'm your plan B. Like, not the pill. I'm your plan B. I got you. Yeah, that is funny.
Ultimate option.
And then a reverse gangbang was the other goal. Is the other goal for, like, because I turned 40, so I want to do a woman per decade. So like, first decade 10, second decade 20, third. and then I want to
Got
do
you.
an extra one that has 50 on there. So like that's the future,
Got you. Got you.
you
Oh
know.
no, you are definitely a creative. I like your ideas.
Thank you, thank you,
They are great.
thank you so
All
much.
right. Well, listen, y'all have been a blast. I'm not even gonna lie. This shit was funny. Um, go ahead. This is your time to shout out your different things that you have going on. I know Jazmine, you're gonna be longer because you have more hats that you wear. But this is your time to shout out what y'all got going on, what's your next projects, which projects you're hopeful for, and your social medias so people can go ahead and find you and buy all your naughty stuff.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Okay. So for me, my handle is Jazmine, JAZMINE CRUZXXX.com.
That's it's not an app. That's your
Oh.
website.
Jazmine XXX.com. Sorry, I've been laughing too much. Part two is I will be in Florida next month, right?
Yep.
And we'll be holding some customs. So if anybody has a fetish request for any customs, I will be in Florida. And CJ.
Yeah, CJ Films is
the producer.
organizing all of that stuff. So we're gonna be at
You doing a fitness muscle goddess thing?
a little bit of everything,
I
anything
lift
and everything.
I do lifting
Got you.
carries. I do wrestling
Got you.
now. All of the above.
Yeah.
Except
Okay.
I don't do. Oh wait, that's fetish. Never mind.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. And I will also be going to what you call it, Exotica, Jersey, right?
Yep.
We'll
Yep.
be there. So if you want to come see me, I'm selling my merchandise. And also me and JR are part of the Me For You ambassadors for the AI. So if you guys want to join that, if you could make a clone of yourself and
Sit back so that the camera they can see you, and also so that keep going.
Okay. And I love you guys. Thanks for the support. I love you fans. I love you, the host. And come listen to our podcast, Just Cruz'n, JUST. What?
CRUZ
CRUZ
It's behind
apostrophe N.
It's
Right here. Your turn.
Oh my god. Okay. So just to kind of piggyback on her piece, so JazmineCruzXXX.com is where you can get to all of her links, find all of her videos, all of the things. I also have MrSexyBuns.com, MrSexyBuns.com. That'll take you to my link tree that has all of my stuff on there. Our production company and podcast, you can Google us on Just Cruz'n or at JUSTCRUZ_N for all of our platforms for that. I am at JR_Cruz2020 for my Twitter and my Instagram, and Clapper, I think, is still at Mr. Sexy Buns. Big projects, we mentioned FetCon, so we're looking at customs. We've got end of this month, we have
that is next month, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's end of this month?
End of this month, we've got Parker Skies and Natasha. I can never remember her last name. The really tall, just gorgeous, dark-skinned beauty.
Okay.
They're coming up this way, so we're trying to get some customs and such for that. We've got a big trip out to LA and Vegas in September. I also help run crew for my best friend Ray Triple X. So we're helping with a bunch of her stuff, wrapping up a couple series that she's working on. She's actually, and there's some DVDs that she has out there that Jazmine has actually been in,
which I didn't even know.
I mean, you knew before today.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's right.
But yes, and then we'll be down for FetishCon. We're not really going to be at the actual event. We're really more down there for collabs and shooting and podcasts and stuff like that. Yeah, and then think that's about it.
No,
And
no.
stay tuned. We're going to have Hektek on our podcast as well.
Yes, I was going to say that
Absolutely,
too.
absolutely. Let me know when, and I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to decide whether I want to go to FetCon or not.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you're in the general vicinity, so I mean, it
No,
never
I'm
hurts
not.
to. Oh, no longer,
I've
huh?
moved. Yeah,
Okay, we can talk offline about that. My
yeah,
apologies.
yeah. No.
Um,
You good?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I moved.
So we have for the podcast, just we've got 22 episodes out live. We got another one that we'll be releasing next week.
Mhm.
I believe we're doing the Jessica from Mint Stars. Um, releasing that one is probably going to be the next one that we send out, or
Okay.
it actually might be the joint podcast that we did with Chelsea B with E&M Matchmaker, Birds of a Feather matchmaking.
Okay. Okay.
That was a really really fun one that we did. So we've got a couple options out there. More to come. Uh, Thank you again for having us, brother.
It was
No
so much fun.
problem. No problem. And remember, if you like everything from both of us, if you want to follow both of us, go ahead and hit those likes, subscribe, and notification buttons for both of us. Make sure that you're supporting. I know that y'all just want to see us fucking, but you could clearly see we're more than just that. We
Pretty
have a lot
versatile.
more going
Yes.
on. Yes, we definitely do. So go on YouTube. You'll find both of my channels, Whatever by Hektek, which is this show, and Beyond Pixel. Go on HD Nation Network on YouTube, and you'll be able to find all those wonderful things from me, and plus more in the future sometime when I feel like I want to do them. And with that, uh, stay close to those that are close to you. Be loyal to those that are loyal to you, and don't do anything that you don't want to do. And with that, we are out of here.
Peace.
Love it.